Here's 3 essential elements that have to be present to do everyday mission through your relational network. I want to briefly share with you the 3 essential elements that Jesus modeled in the Gospels in order to do everyday mission through your relational network. But first, click on the link above. If you haven't watched the intro to everyday mission through your relational network, I suggest that you watch that first because it lays the foundation for this particular video. The first element that has to be present in order to do everyday mission successfully through your relational network is being incarnational. And incarnational means in the flesh. Remember, John 1:14 says that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. So incarnational has this idea of being present, of being there, of having a presence. And that's what you have to do in your relational network. So what we're talking about is having physical proximity, of physically being there for those in your relational network. That's the starting point of your witness. By being there, people have a chance to hear what you have to say. They have a chance to see how you live life. And this is often the starting point for many of what it means for them to see someone who says that they're a follower of Jesus Christ. So in functional daily terms, what that might look like is so when someone in your relational network is lonely, that you're there as a friend. When they're discouraged, you're there to offer words of encouragement. When they're perplexed, you're there to offer some wisdom. And when they're lost, you're there to share the gospel. And because you were there, that gives them a chance to experience the grace of God. The second element that has to be present in order to do effective everyday mission through your relational network is being relational. Friendship. It's important that you take time to build and strengthen friendships that you have with those in your relational network. You know, for 3 years in Jesus' oikos, his 12 disciples, he lived life with them. Ups, downs, sharing food, traveling from place to place, spending time and doing life with them and developing friendships. In fact, by John 15, verse 15, we hear Jesus saying that I no longer call you servants, but I call you friends. And the last element that's essential in doing everyday mission through your relational network is to be intentional. And to be intentional just simply means that you have to take the initiative to share the gospel in your relational network. You know, in Mark chapter 4, about verse 26, we read that a sower went out and sowed seeds. A farmer went out and scattered seeds. And earlier in that chapter, right around verse 16 or so, Jesus said that the seed was the Word of God. In our relational network, to do everyday mission, we have to find ways to sow threads of the gospel into our conversations, to be able to take casual conversations and to transform them into meaningful conversations, but from there, be able to transform them into spiritual conversations. And those spiritual conversations may look different with each and every person who's within your relational network, depending on where they're at in their walk with God. Jesus was very intentional. In Luke chapter 4, he said that the Spirit of the Lord was upon me because he has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and the recovery of sight to the blind. He was very intentional in his ministry, and we need to be intentional in sharing the gospel through our relational network. So the 3 essential elements in living everyday mission effectively in your relational network are to be incarnational, to be relational, and to be intentional. Hey, listen, if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the section below. And while you're at it, subscribe to our YouTube channel.